Okay, baby. Back out here, let them do the job. Get that man's camera. Scotty, you want to go back? Are you serious? Something else. What do you? How do I do something? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Watch your leg.
There you go.
Number 26. hit on Heidi.
Hi. Who you got? Do it when they get it.
I think they're mainly just excited to be off the chains out of the woods.
I'm gonna need a drink. If I had a bowl, I'd give you a drink.
Do you know anything about what sort of is it? Would it be?
Would you please don't get up there? You're on private property. There's a bunch in the house. Hi, babies.
Bring it next one. Just go back here.
Not even from the same litter. Just don't share them with me, alright?
kennel license. And then they were changing all. We had a house next door we called our rent house, but we didn't rent it. I was in business and we used it for storage. And they were changing, we decided to rent it. And if we rented it, we couldn't have the license. And so I told my husband, my daughter was killed. And I had to get busy. So I opened my business. So anyway, make a short story out of it. We started looking and we found this 10-acre tract, 10.3. We wanted at least 5, but we got 10. We paid cash for it. It's mine. I got a letter yesterday in the mail said, to help with your mortgage, and these stupid people, to help with your mortgage payments, please contact us. We can loan you da-da-da. And I'm like, you know, get your wires together. We pay cash for it. It's mine. And this is a hobby. It keeps me busy. And in Houston, I had 2 young girls that were helping me, and we lost friendship over, we had a white shepherd, and this man wanted her, and she was in heat. And I said, when she goes out of heat, and they said, no, let her have her. And I said, no, I'm not going to let them have this shepherd. I didn't know what was wrong with the man wanting to take a dog in season. It sounded weird to me. And so we lost friendship, and after that, I didn't have any extra help. But I do all this on my own, every bit of it.
It must cost a fortune
I buy.
to eat on.
She told me she heard. I know Jennifer didn't mean anything, but she thought she heard me tell a friend of mine that was out here helping me that I fed them. One day I fed 1 batch of dogs, and the next day she heard me say that I can't water them all in one day. That's the hardest thing I have to do because they turn it over. I can water them, but the next morning they may not have it. Well, I can't keep up with all of them, but I water 1 batch and then another batch, and generally they have water within, a number of hours. But I said, Jennifer, and I'll get to Kroger. I'm their number. I can show you. I spend. They're $11.99 a bag right now, and I get the senior citizen discount, 10% or Kroger discount. It makes it say $10.95. It's $11, and I buy at least 2 for every day. And recently, with the weather changing and the puppies, I'm buying an extra bag and using part of it. And this is just a ritual. It's just part of it. And I had just decided to work. That's sad because I had just decided to work with the Spca. But I'd lost her card, and I thought, well, she'll come out before, anything happens, she'll come out. And I guess she thought I wasn't, but I had already decided on the first batch. And then all these ones that were loose up there are babies. They're not over 6 months old. And she could have taken them and left my older dogs. That's why I don't understand why they don't leave me. The last time they took dogs away from me, they came in and took I had a $5,000, see it sitting right there, 4-wheeler. First they came in, they got everything. They knew the dogs weren't here. And that's what I said, it's going to be dangerous. They got everything that was of value. My husband bought me a real good air compressor, one of the big ones to spray the yard, and weed eaters, and da-da-da-da-da-da.
How long ago was that?
A number of years ago, about 7, 8, 9 years ago. Probably 7 years ago. And, they cleaned me out. So then the 4-wheeler was hid in the high grass. They waited 2 weeks. They come out. They cut my back fence, cut another fence. And they couldn't get it out that way, so they went to the back fence and cut it. Just like you took a saw and cut that chain link. They cleaned me out. And since then, I don't buy anything new. I buy used appliances. I buy anything. I might buy a little toaster.
Did they get your appliances and stuff?
No, but if there'd been anything, I don't know that they didn't look in there.
What's it cost you a month to keep this all feed though? You want 2 bags a day? It's what, $22, $23 a day? It's $700 a month almost?
At least.
How do you do it?
I work.
Oh,
I'm on a special needs bus. I make good money.
Oh.
I'm a monitor, but I'm on my 6th year. And I'll be paid for today, being off this afternoon. I'll be paid. I've got about 30 days, at least 25 days due me because I never am sick. And they saw about me being sick with the animals here. I said, that's funny. I've never missed. 1 year I didn't miss a day the whole year. Then last year I had car trouble, and that cost me a couple hours. It just takes 1 hour and you lose the value. I get $25 a month when I don't miss, and it's worth it to me, But anyway, I do that, and then my horses run me. My farm animals run me approximately anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. That's not including medicine for the dogs or them or anything.
Well, how'd you end up with the horses and the goats and everything?
Well, I've always wanted something like that. We didn't want horses. The first one was Starfire, and she was they asked if they could put her on our property because we weren't using it. We got attached to her, so so then when she wanted to sell her, my husband bought her on the spot. I mean, he said, I'll pay you right now. We got her for $75 and she was pregnant. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So then,
is your husband still around?
no, he died, but I don't know how long ago, but about 7, 8, 9 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I mean,
So then you have to
we
do all this
both had
yourself.
good lives. My daughter had good life. She's killed at 16 and a half. She was a Christian. She loved
Where'd
people.
that happen at?
She was on her first water ski trip and 2 lawyers ran over and killed her.
Where was this?
Oh.
Down at Caney Creek, Sargent, Texas. She and the boy, she was with a family, and she and their youngest son, which was a year older than her, were pulling the next youngest son. They had 8 kids, and they were 16, 17, and 18. And he saw the whole accident, and he swore up and down the day they were buried that they were murdered. But I hired a good lawyer, and he searched and searched, but you never could find an eyewitness. And the only thing he could find is they were known for their drinking. And they'd been on the water all day, see, in that heat. And I think they just planned to scare the kids. And I would have never even sued him. I didn't want the money. But my daughter was one of the 4 finalists for most popular. Doug already had a job if he wanted one. He'd been working since he was 16. And he just was they were liked by everybody. And they had leaders. They had killed 2 future good people. And Michelle was a Christian well, he was too, I guess, but I know what she was. It was a horrible, but I feel my life.
Hey!
Looking at you?
Yeah, what's the first name? Sorry, name?
Heidi. Last name is Brasher.
B-R-A-S.
H-E-R.
Heidi, tell me what you got so far out here today.
Well, the Houston Spca was called out here to Montgomery County to a property where we found a large quantity of animals. We found so far 110 dogs, a couple of cats. We found 5 horses, 3 pigs, 2 goats, and a variety of other creatures that we brought back to the Houston Spca today.
What, I mean, the conditions out here. How could you, I've never seen one like this before. So how would you?
These are tough conditions. We arrived on the property and it was very overgrown. We saw many, many dogs that were chained, really cruelly confined. Many of their chains were embedded, their collars were embedded. We had a lack of food and fresh water on the property, lots of debris and trash everywhere. So it was a pretty dangerous situation for these animals. The horses were kept without any really lack of water and food as well. The pigs were in a pen that had lots of metal and sharp objects, and so we were very concerned about these animals. We'll go ahead and round them all up today and take them back to the Houston Spca.
And what, as far as the, y'all have worked with her a little bit. Tried, has it just not gone anywhere, or just gone dead end, or what?
Our investigators have been working with the owner of this property for the past several months. They've asked her to comply with some of the basics according to Texas law, so we're looking at food, water, shelter, and medical care for these animals. Unfortunately, she was not able to comply, and at this point we decided it was time to go ahead and seize these animals, get them back to the Houston Spca, get them evaluated, and we'll go before a judge within 10 days and ask them to award us custody of these animals.
In your opinion, what's the overall condition of most of these animals?
Most of these animals do have medical issues. A lot of hair loss, probably some mange. We saw a lot of embedded collars. We saw a lot of them were emaciated, probably parasitic, lots of fleas, lots of ticks. These were some animals that were in some tough conditions and they needed to get out of here today.
Okay, what about her condition, the condition she was living in?
This property was no place for animals, and it's really no place for her as well. The owner needs to get into a better situation, and hopefully now that she won't have these animals that she feels she needs to take care of, maybe she'll be able to take care of herself as well.
What about the second time now in the 7 or 8 years that you've been out here?
Yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes we see lots of large cases like this, and oftentimes we'll repeat a case somewhere, and we just really want to make sure that we educate owners on the proper care for their pets and what they need to do according to Texas law in order to be able to keep their animals.